So, good morning, everybody. Again, I just want to quickly revise what we said about passive last time. And we said that sentences that are in the active, like this one, look, I drink a cup of coffee every morning. Okay? This is a sentence that has a subject. I is what? Take a look. I is the subject, right? And drink is what? The verb. Okay. A cup of coffee is the object. And then we have the rest of the sentence. If we have more information in the sentence, guys, we consider the rest of the sentence a complement, okay? All right, guys, we call the rest of the sentence what? A complement, okay? So when I say every day, this is considered a complement, okay? This is the structure of the sentence. Don't write your name and numbers, I said right now, ya Tamara and ya Aya and ya Haneen. I said don't write your names while I am explaining this you know, the sentence, okay? So you wrote your name in the middle of my explanation. I said don't do that, okay? So I drink a cup of coffee every day. We said I is the subject, drink is the verb, and a cup of coffee is the object, and then every day is the complement. How do you write this in the passive? The order of the active sentence is what? We have the subject, then we have the, my gosh, يعني يا فرح الشرمان, I said don't write your names now. Then we have the verb, then we have what? The object. Sorry about that. Then we have the object. Let me show you. Then we have what? The complement. Okay, this is the order of what? Of an active sentence. Look, subject, then verb, then object, then complement. Okay, but when you want to write the same sentence in the passive, what do we do? What happens to the order? الترتيب بتغير, right, guys? What happens? We have first the object, then we have the verb. But what is the structure of the verb? What do we have? We have an auxiliary. بصير عندنا, guys, auxiliary اللي هو فعل مساعد. And we have what? Verb 3. Okay? And then we have by subject. All right? And then maybe complement. Okay? Or complement, then by subject. All right? Let's say complement. Then by subject. Okay? Like this. Let me show you. Okay? Like this. So this is the order of the passive sentence. Okay? Object, then verb. And the verb has to be like this. There's an auxiliary, فعل مساعد, guys. And then we have the verb 3, then complement, then by subject. So the example that I gave you guys was what? I drink coffee every day. I drink a cup of coffee every day. So like this, it changes. This is passive. The passive form of it is passive. Look. So a cup of coffee. This is now the new subject for the sentence. A cup of coffee. And then what do? I say what? Because drink is present simple. So the auxiliary should be, guys, present simple. So I choose between is and are. Why do I choose is? Because is what? Singular. So a cup of coffee is. And I put the verb in the as verb 3. So drink, guys, changes into drunk. So you have to know that, you know, drink, drank, drunk. Drunk is what? What is the, you know, the verb, all right? And then you say what, guys? By me. Okay? A cup of coffee is drunk by me. Or you can say every day by me. So one of your friends says, عفوا دكتورة ما وصل المثال على whatever. Yes, it's there. Check the chat. شيكوا على الشات. المثال بالشات يا جماعة. alright. أنا حطيته بالمثال بالشات وفي زملائكم ما شاء الله قلت لهم ما يكتبوا أسمائهم قبل ما أشرح المثال and nobody listened to me or some people did not listen to me. Okay, so yeah, Isra, you always mute your mic when you come into the class, and then, you know, if you want to speak or say something, you yes, it's there, Kif. It's not there. It says from me to everyone in waiting room. Is this waiting room? Oh, okay. It seems it's in the waiting room, not in the chat box. Okay, it's okay. Let me see. It should be here in the meeting, guys. It should be in the meeting. Okay, no problem. Okay, just let me show you the passive form of it. It seems that the place where I typed it, guys, was not the right place. Okay, here you go. Here's the example here. So a cup of coffee is drunk every day by me. This is the passive form. See, look, because the rule, what's the rule again? شو القاعدة, guys? We have the object at the beginning, the object, see, and then we have, there's a change in the verb form, تغيير على الفعل, auxiliary. ليش هذا is auxiliary؟ ليه؟ because originally بالأصل الجملة this, I drink a cup of coffee every day. This is the original sentence. Because the verb itself is drink, present simple, so I choose an auxiliary which is present, you see? And the verb now here, whatever the verb is, I have to choose it what? As verb 3, because the rule, what's the rule? Maratani, what is the rule of the passive? The rule of the passive now is subject. We do this, look guys, this is passive rule of writing the passive. So passive, again, look guys, can I write it down again for you? I'm sorry, let me just see. The passive is what? Subject. And then we have, again, I said what? We said, wait a minute, the verb. And the verb is what? Made of the auxiliary. And my choice of the auxiliary depends on what, guys? It depends on the original verb in the active sentence. Okay? All right. And then what do? Then I put the complement itself, the rest of the sentence, and then by subject. This is the rule of the passive, guys. See, this is the rule of the passive. So I drink a cup of coffee every day. Passive, we have to put a subject, the subject first, like a cup of coffee, as you can see, is first, which is the object, I'm sorry, over here. So I have to change, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. Let me fix this. Copy, paste. Let me just fix this. Here, guys, I want to fix the mistake that I made, all right? Here you go. Object, here it is. This is the correct one. Object becomes first. This is in the passive sentence. Then the verb, and the verb has the auxiliary and verb 3, all right? And then we have the complement, okay? Okay, all right. And then by subject, as you can see. Let's write another example. Look at this example, guys, okay? Take a look. I'm going to write another example for you. This one is going to be in the past. She walked the dog last night. Okay, so this is a girl who has a dog, and she walked the dog last night. Look, guys, we have she is the subject. Walked is the verb, and the verb is in the past, as you can see. The dog is the what? Object. مفعول به, we say in Arabic, right? And last night is the time expression which could be described as complement. Now we want to follow this rule. Here's the rule, guys. Passive. We want to change it to passive. We have to begin with what? This is you know, here. This is what you have to follow. Object first. So what's the object? The dog, okay? The dog. Now what? Now they tell you here the verb. You have to change the verb in the form of the verb. Auxiliary, then verb 3. So what do I do? What is the suitable auxiliary? Am I going to put is or are? No, I'm not going to put is or are. Do you know why? Because the verb itself is past. So I don't choose is or are. I choose is or are if the verb was present. But this is past. So do you know what auxiliary I choose from? I choose either was or were. Okay?
Was or were, yes.
Exactly. And since the dog is a singular subject, do I choose was or were? I choose was. So the dog was what? What? I need verb 3. What's the verb 3 of walked? It's the same because it's a regular verb. We know that, you know, verbs that have ed in the past, as verb 2, have ed in verb 3. Okay, so the dog was walked. And then what do I do? Yeah, last night is it last night? Last night, the complement, and then I say by subject is which is me. I don't say or by her. I don't say by she because you can't say by she. She changes into her, you know, right? After the preposition by, for example, or after, you know, the verb formation, as we can see here. So here you go. So by her. So the dog was walked last night by her. Okay? Let's do one which is present continuous, a present continuous verb. I am teaching my students. Okay, look at the sentence. I am teaching my students. This is a sentence and the sentence is active. I is the subject, am teaching is the verb, present continuous. It's present continuous, right? My students is the object. Now I want to change this into passive. What do? I write the object first. So I say my students. So present continuous, not present simple. Present means I need to put is or are. But because it's continuous, I have to put something else now. I have to put something else between what? The verb. Look, guys, the auxiliary verb and verb 3, which is what? Being. I will show you right now, okay? So my students, so what do I say? Because it's plural now, my students, are, look, being. And verb 3 from teaching is what? What's verb 3 from teach? Teach, taught, taught. Are being taught. My students are being taught. And then by the subject, which is me, right? Because you can't say I, not by me. Here it is. See, guys? So when we have present continuous, or past continuous, and we want to write the sentence in the passive, what do? This is the form. Look what we do. We put the object first. Then what do? We also put the new verb, and the verb is like this, formed like this. We do auxiliary and being and what? Verb 3, and then complement if there is a complement. If there's no complement, we forget about it. Then by subject. This is the rule. See, guys, when I have, look, present continuous or past continuous, okay? And we want to change the sentence into the passive. What do? I have the object first, then the verb. As usual, this is the same rule. The same rule. Everything is the same, but the only difference is I have being in the middle. So we have an auxiliary, we have being, and we have verb 3. And look over here at my sentence. My students is the object, which became the new subject. Then I have are being taught, and then by me. There is no complement, so I skip this, okay? Okay, guys? This is how to do it. Let's just take one more example, which has present perfect in it. So I have seen the news. This means in Arabic, لقد شاهدت الأخبار, right? I have seen the news. This is a sentence what, guys? In the active. Why? Because it's with the subject I. Okay? With the doer of the action. Now I want to change this into passive. Who knows how? Who knows? Do you know how? Anybody? Who wants to try? What is this noise? I don't want noise. Please put your mic on mute if you have noise, if you have a noisy background. Who would like to do this? Oh my gosh. Have been, but this is not an enough answer yet, Dalia. You have to give me a complete answer like this when I say this. So the news, what? You can't say have been. The news has been, because the
Has
news
been, yes.
has been seen by me. So the rule is what? Again, the same. Object first, as usual, plus verb. But what's the form of the verb? We have to know. When it's present perfect, the form is either has or have. Why do I decide has here? Why did I decide on has? Because I said the news. The news, guys, is
New singular.
has. Yeah. But if it was Ahmed also has. The news, sorry, it's singular here. The news isn't singular. I'm very sorry, okay? Even if there is an S, guys, we deal with it as singular. The news, al-akhbar, all right? Has been seen. I'm sorry about the mistake that I made. Okay, but sometimes you might say they, because they, you have, with they, you say they have, all right? Okay? Object plus verb, has or have based on the new subject that you have. And then what do you do? What do you do here? You have, I'm sorry, what? And then you have verb 3. And then you close this and you put what? A complement. The same rule, guys. The rule does not change, okay? Just, you know, it's only the verb areas changes depending on what? Depending on the original, you know, tense, okay? So complement and then what? By subject. So basically, this is how you do it, okay? And I sent you a video again. You can find lots of videos online, guys, about changing sentences from active to passive, all right? You choose the one you like, and I sent you one which I say go for and watch, okay? All right, let me just take a look at the participants because I'm disturbed. Yeah, Fatima, you have to always put your mic on mute. I do not want a noisy background here, all right? Yeah. Okay, so we are done, guys, with this section. And we need to move on to the next exercise, which is what? The next exercise has to do with, so let's take a look. I hope you guys watched the video on languages and language diversity by now, and that you are familiar with the lesson. But now we need to move on to page 140. Let's move there. Let's see if I can do that. 140. Okay, here it is. This is the page that we're going to work on today. All right, so let's just enlarge it and take a look at the table. As you can see, we have the verb instruct. Instruct means like to teach. I am teaching you. I am instructing you. See? يدرب, يدرس. In Arabic, we say instruction. Instruction is a name or a noun, and it means, guys, تعليمات. Instructor is somebody who does the teaching like me. I could be a teacher or an instructor. Something is instructive. We describe something as instructive. بيعلم يعني شيء بيعلم. All right, or بيدرب. All right. So now we have here this noun which is called honesty, الصدق. Dishonesty is the opposite of honesty. اللي هي الكذب, guys. لما نحط this, it's like saying lying. All right. So when I want to describe somebody, how do I describe him? I describe him as honest, فلان صادق. I say he's honest, or dishonest. And honestly, sometimes I would be talking to you and explaining, and what do I say? Honestly speaking, you know, I want to describe how I'm speaking. So I say honestly speaking. So I describe this verb, you know, which is speaking, all right? An adverb.
دكتور ممكن بس أسألك سؤال إذا
Yeah, go
ممكن سوري إني قاطعتك.
no.
No.
Go ahead. Ask. I'm listening.
أوكي. بالنسبة للامتحان رح يكون يوم السبت الساعة 8.
No. It's on the schedule. You have to check the schedule. They will send you a message.
Yes. متى رح يكون؟
They will send you a message and tell you, I can't give you the time because every session has its own time. They will tell you. Okay?
يعني ما رح يكون الأسبوع الجاي أنت رح
No,
تخبرينا بالوقت.
no. It's going to be on August the 8th. What's wrong with you? August the 8th, Saturday. But they're going to send you a message. The ELC unit, وحدة الامتحانات المحوسبة, is going to send you a message telling you about the time. Time مش date يعني time. لما نقول time يعني الوقت. يعني what time. يعني will it be at 11, at 7, because there are 3 sessions في 3 مجموعات. So wait, they will send you a message and then they will tell you which group you are in. The time, I mean, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good luck. So now we have the verb imagine. Imagine معناها يتخيل, guys. All right, this is here, it's a verb. Imagine. Huh? Imagination الخيال. All right? All right? عملية التخيل والخيال. All right? Imagination. Sometimes you describe people as having a wide imagination. And sometimes we describe something as, or somebody as imaginative. Yani they are able to imagine things. Unimaginative is the opposite, are unable to imagine things. Imaginatively is the adverb, ظرف, guys, all right? He did this imaginatively. He drew the painting imaginatively, like the way he drew the painting, okay, with his imagination. Now we have the verb invent. You know what invent means? For example, that, you know, we could say that rubber was invented, the telephone was invented by, you know, scientists and, you know, or by a certain scientist and so on. So it's a verb here. Invention is الاختراع نفسه. So you might say the washing machine is an invention, the internet is an invention, or, you know, this is what, and who, you know, made the invention is referred to as the inventor, المخترع. So both of them are nouns, but this one refers to the item, الشيء, or inventor, to a person. Inventive, something that is described as inventive, or somebody who is described as inventive. عنده قدرة على الاختراع. All right, inventively, the way it was done, in an inventive way. Okay, all right, the way something was done, الطريقة اللي تمت فيها صناعة أو أداء شغلة معينة. So this is an adverb, ظرف. Interview مقابلة, you know that. So to interview هون معناها يقابل طبعا, because here it's a verb. بس نفس الشكل, same. How do I know it's a verb? How do I know it's a noun? It depends on where, guys, its position in the sentence. When it comes as after the subject, بعد الفعل بكون I interviewed him. Verb. But the interview was successful. The interview, المقابلة, see, guys, as a noun. So it was in the beginning of the sentence here, so it's a noun, okay? Or after the verb, right? You can have it, all right? Interviewer is somebody who does the interview, right? Noun. So characterize means what, guys? يعني يوظف, all right? Yeah, يعني يكون عنده وظيفة معينة أو صفة معينة. So we use it here as a verb. Character, all right? Could be, you know, a letter, could be a personality trait, you know. Characteristic is an adjective here, and characteristically is an adverb, all right? So it depends on where you want to use it in the sentence, but the same meaning, okay? مأخوذة من, guys, الصفة أو الشخصية يعني خلينا نقول, all right? So we have the word psychology. Here is a noun, all right? اللي هي علم النفس, guys, psychology. All right? Psychologist, واضحة جدا, guys. Somebody who is a specialist in psychology, طبيب النفسي. These are nouns, okay? As an adjective, we say psychological. Sometimes I might say he has a psychological sickness. He has a psychological problem, okay? Psychologically, the way something is done, all right? For example, he treated him how? Psychologically, he treated. See, we describe the verb as, psychologically, the way it is done or performed, the treatment. We have the verb beg. beg يترجى أو حتى بالعربي بنقول يشحد, right? To beg. Beggar is the person who does this act. Okay, we call him or her a beggar. يعني شخص بترجى أو شحاد يعني بمعنى. Depend يعتمد, right? We all depend on, our parents for love and, and support. Dependability here is what? Is a noun. Okay, عملية الاعتماد, all right? Undependable or dependable, it's an adjective here, okay? صفة جاية هون. Dependably is what? The adverb, the way something is done, okay? In a dependable or non-dependable way. We say he did this or that, dependably. Usually children do things in this manner, okay? In a dependable manner or dependably, all right? Because as adults, we do things what? Independently, all right? So anyway, the lecture. We want to complete these sentences now using these words that we have just discussed. We choose whether they are, verbs or nouns or adjectives or adverbs based on, the position of the space here in the sentence, right? The lecture, what on safe driving was very what? We want here what? Because there's very, usually after it comes what? An adjective. So we choose from these guys. We choose from these. Was very what? How can I describe the lecture? As instructive, as dishonest, as imaginative or unimaginative, inventive, characteristic, psychological, or undependable or dependable. What do I do? So does anybody want to answer this, guys? Yes, تغريد.
لا أنا كنت رافعة إيدي من قبل.
To complete the sentence?
First sentence?
Yep.
Okay. The lecture on safe driving very instructive.
Excellent. So Tagri described the lecture as very instructive. Very good. So you learn a lot from it. That's what it means when you say it was instructive. Okay, let's move on to the second sentence. So what noun am I going to have here, guys? What noun? Because it's the beginning of a sentence, and then look after, there's is. So subject is, an important characteristic for someone working in a bank. Yes, ya Dalia.
Honestly is an important characteristic for someone working in a bank.
Good. Honesty. This one. This one. Where is it?
Adverb.
No. Noun. Honesty. Be careful. Where is honesty? Honesty. Here it is. Here it is. Honesty. This one. Because it's the subject. And the subject is a noun. Honesty. And it should be a capital letter. Why? Because it's the beginning of a sentence. So I should change this to capital. Yani put a line here. Honesty is an important characteristic. صفة منيحة, guys, for someone who is working where? In a bank. Yani can you imagine a person who works at a bank and then is a thief? تخيلوا? So that mystery program. Look, very. What's going to be here? We're going to need what? An adjective. So we want to look at these words in order to choose from. All right. So the mystery program. I'm going to describe it as what? I did not know how it was going to end until the last minute. So we have to take this part of the sentence as a context clue in order to complete the sentence. Mystery program. برنامج فيه ايش؟ الغاز, guys, okay? وفيه غموض. Mystery. Was very what? So the best word here, guys, is imaginative. All right? فيه خيال كتير. كتير خيالي. Why? Because I didn't know how it was going to end until the last minute. Okay, this is why. So parts of the sentence should be used as clues for you to complete the sentences, all right? Okay, how about this sentence, guys? The telephone. Okay, here we want a verb. Do you know why? Because the telephone is like what? What? Not a subject here, it's an object. So this is a passive sentence, okay? So how am I going to form the verb, Dalia?
The telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell.
Good. How do I know this is passive? I know, do you know why? Because the subject does not do an action here. The telephone does not do an action. The action is done to it. That's why we know that this is not a subject, it's a noun, true, but it's an object. Okay? And the other clue, guys, مفتاح الثاني, guys, by Alexander Graham Bell. That's why I know this sentence is what? Passive. And we know the person who invented the phone, his name is Alexander Graham Bell. So the telephone, because it's, you know, this subject is singular, was. And then verb 3, invented by Alexander Graham Bell. I want to tell you something. Please put a star next to 4. Do you know why? You're going to have a sentence just like this one in the exam, and I just told you. So make sure that you know, understand this sentence and sentences like it, because, you know, this is how you're going to make a choice that the verb should be passive and not active when it looks like this one. So please, guys, you know, just mark this sentence and make sure that you are ready for it when it comes in the exam, or when you have one like it in the exam. Okay? So the Minister of Health. The Minister of Health, Wazir al-Saha, what about him? Didn't like, this is the verb, some of the questions. He didn't like what? Some of the questions that the what? Noun. Who's going to put something here? Who's going to read this for us? That the interviewer, what did the interviewer do? Asked him. He did not like, you know, this reminds me of Trump when he did not like, you know, the questions that the reporter asked him, okay? Or the interviewer. The reporter is an interviewer, isn't he? So he was what? He was what? By a foreign journalist. He was interviewed by a foreign journalist. So again, guys, this is a passive sentence. Okay, so he means the Minister of Health. What about him? Was interviewed. So this is a passive sentence. Again, by whom? A foreign journalist. Okay? Yeah. So we want to move on to 6. Marge started a fight with her sister, like all sisters, you know, do. All sisters do this, right? They start fights with their sisters, and now, you know. This was very what? Very should be followed by what, guys? By an adjective. This was very uncharacteristic of Marge. She is usually nice to her sister. Uncharacteristic يعني ايش, guys? مش من صفاتها بالعادة, ها؟ مش من يعني مش شغله بتعملها باستمرار. All right? So this was very uncharacteristic of Marge. Why? Because she is usually nice to her sister. I wonder what her sister did to have, you know, Marge, you know, be angry with her like that. Barbara is going to study what? We want here what? A noun. Okay, she's going to study psychology. Why? Let's see why we chose psychology. Then she will work with people who have what? Psychological problems. So this is an adjective for problems, right? Psychological problems. So when you study psychology, what are you going to do later on? Either teach psychology or work with people who have psychological problems. مشاكل نفسية, right? So let's move on to 8 now. Dan did what? His friend to lend him his car. Oh my gosh, I would never do such a thing. Dan begged his friend. Why? Why did he beg his friend? To give him or to lend him his car. Wow. Okay, 9. Mr. Thompson. What about Mr. Thompson? Thompson is a what? Okay, so we need here what? An adjective. Why? Because we have a noun, person. We want to describe the person here in a certain way. Is a dependable person. Why did I say dependable? You know that he will do what he says. A dependable person هو شخص يمكن الاعتماد عليه, we say in Arabic. Why can we depend on such a person? Because this kind of person will always do what he says. All right, he will do. You can what? Huh? We need a verb here, and the verb should be in the base form after can. You can depend on him. Okay? Yeah. So we are done with this exercise, guys. Do you have any questions about this exercise, about these words, guys? So is everything clear here? Let's move on to the next exercise, okay? And we have you're going to have a question like this in the exam, by the way, just to let you know. So I will ask you about the pronouns in the, you know, reading text. Like I will tell you the pronoun it in line 15, you know, refers to what? So you be ready for this question. So if I ask you about a certain pronoun, I will ask you about its reference. Like what does it refer to? عائد على إيش we say in Arabic, okay? So page 134, line 15. Let's go to that, okay? 134, if you have the book, open up your books. 134, line what? 15. Look what it says. Word order is more important in English than it is in some other languages such as Russian. So it here, it is, refers to what? It refers to word order. We're talking about word order, and then we used, instead of using word order, again, we used it, for, you know, instead of it. All right? All right, the second one, guys, is what? Is on page, you know, 134, and it's in line 19, they. Let's go to line 19. Listen to this. Languages are always changing, but they change very slowly. They refers to what here? They. They
Languages.
change. Yes, thank you, Dalia. Languages here. Okay, we were talking about languages. They change slowly, so we're talking about languages here. Let's move on to sentence 3, page 134 again, and line 30. Let's take a look at line 30. Okay, and they want you to tell us what they refers to in line 30. Let's read the beginning of the sentence. There are several major language families in the world. The languages in each family are related, and scientists think that they come from the same parent family. So what is this? They refers to the languages in each family, which are related, okay? All right, this is what it refers to. And I have it right here. Now we want to move on to 4. 4. And 4 says what? Page 135, line 61. Let's go to line 61. It's on page 135, okay? And we're supposed to say what they refers to over here, right? So let's read from the beginning of the sentence. Let me just find the beginning of the sentence. Some of the adults learned a second language when they were children. So they refers to what? Some of the adults, okay, that learned a second language, all right? Yeah. The last, you know, pronoun that we want to, you know, discuss is they, which is in line 68. Let's go to line 68. All right, listen to this. Languages have come and gone in the past, but they are now disappearing at a rapid rate. They refers to what here, Diala or Dalia?
Languages.
Yes, languages, okay? Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next exercise. The next exercise, guys, is a article exercise. I think we've talked about this before, the use of the, okay? And sometimes, they, you know, when we use a or an, who can tell me about the difference between using the, أداة التعريف the, and a and an? So we use the, guys, when we talk about something specific, okay? And we said that we use the one time, remember, with certain, you know, like after, before certain nouns. So sometimes the is fixed as part of the name itself, all right? And let me say about the, guys, we use the when, I'm sorry, a or an in the same context, the same use is used for a and a. When we want to talk about a noun, which is singular, a noun which is singular, we put before it a or an, a singular noun, okay? A or an, but I take into consideration if the first letter is a vowel sound or, you know, I put an, not a. But if the first letter is a consonant, حرف صحيح, guys, أو صوت صحيح, I use a. Okay, and I will show you examples right now. Now, when do I use no article at all? When I talk about things in general, okay? not something specific. Things in general. This is when I use, no article at all, and it's not going to be singular. All right. Let's take a look at these sentences. Look at this. Some languages are used by millions of people. So I have nothing here because I'm talking about people in general. Okay. So people is plural and it's used in general. I don't use a or an because a or an are resorted for singular. And I don't use the. Why? Because I'm talking about people in general. I'm not talking about specific people here. Okay? Let's move on to sentence 2. Many hearing impaired people. Remember what this phrase, we talked about it. It means people who can't hear at all or partially can't hear. Okay? They use what? Sign languages. Why? In which gestures? Gestures in general, guys, here. See, this is plural and this plural form. So we're not going to use a or an before it. We either use the or nothing. So when do I use the? When I talk about something specific. This is not specific. This is in general. When gestures do the work of the sound system of spoken languages. Okay? So we're talking about a specific sound system over here. Let's move on to 3, and you can go back to the text itself. This is how it is used and written, all right? We want to move on to word order right now, okay? Word order is more important in English when we talk about languages, guys, like this. Languages, what do we have before it? No article. We say, I speak Arabic, I speak English, I speak German. I don't say the before languages, okay? Or a or an, okay? So a language before it, we put nothing as an article, all right? Then it is in some other languages, such as Russian. Again, this is a language. So languages, we have nothing before them in terms of articles. Articles means adawat al-ta'rif, the, a, an, or nothing, all right? Yeah. So look what I have here. Here, guys, this is not, guys, a language. I say the English word. Al-kalima al-Ingliziyya. It's a specific word that I'm talking about. Bite. That's why I put the. I'm not talking about English as a language here. I'm talking about a word that is English, okay, which is bite. A specific word. That's why I use the. So the English word bite was invented by whom? Computer specialists. I did not say which computer specialist or from what country that computer specialist is. So in general, computer specialists, so we have nothing here when we talk about, a title in general in that way in 1959. Again, look, I'm repeating. The English word bite, the English word meat, a specific word again. So that's why I have the. Once referred to what? Food in general. And they tell you it's in general. Look at it, So we're talking about not just, a specific kind of food, but food in general. 6, experts estimate that on average, the world loses how many languages every 2 weeks? We said a language. A language means one language. So here, guys, why did I use because I mean here one. And in English, we use this, method when we want to talk about one. I ate a sandwich, I say, which means one sandwich, right? And this is just the way it is used here. It means one. And pay attention, guys, that after I have what? A consonant, so no need for an. Okay? When do we use an? When the first letter is what? A vowel. Okay? حرف علة or صوت علة. Today, 50% what? Of the world's population, so specific, population, speaks one of the top 15 languages. We're talking about a specific languages here. So the top 15, we're talking about specific languages among all languages, all right? So that's why we have the. We say the top, the best sometimes also. This is another thing also to keep to keep in mind. 8, recent research indicates that a child's brain, we're talking about, a brain. Which brain? A child's brain in general here, and we're using singular here. Learns what? A new language. So we're talking about singular again. We're using singular here. A new language differently than an adult's brain does. Okay? So singular, singular, singular again. So we use but here and it's the same singular, but it's because the beginning is what? Vowel sound. So we, instead of using we use an. A long time ago, guys, we did not have a or an. We just had But, it's hard to say adult because you see the sounds. they kind of, you know, clash, they don't work together. And the N here is supposed to give some kind of a rest or a break, you know, let me say, between sounds which are both vowels. See, it gives you some kind of, you know, some kind of comfort when you say an adult. But when you say a adult, see how it's disturbing, all right? Yeah. So basically, the way to do it, guys, is when I'm talking about, you know, singular here, brain is singular, okay? And I want to use the article a or an. I decided on n just because the beginning of the following word was what, you know, a word that begins with a vowel, okay? So basically, that's how to do it. Now, I think, let's see where we are now. We are on the last page, right? Aren't we? Two-word verbs. This is the last page that we have to that we should discuss for today. And we have only one exercise here, all right? Let's see this exercise, you know, it's an exercise that has to do with what? It has to do with two-word verbs. What do we call these? We call these phrasal verbs, okay? So what does pick up mean? Pick up, go somewhere, for example, with your car to get someone, all right? Pick up, all right? So you use the word pick up when you want to go to the airport or to the the bus station. I'm sorry, gas station, bus station, and somebody has come probably from Amman. You want to pick him up. Huh? Stand for means yarmuz, right? Yeah. So be a symbol for, as in US stands for, as an example, for United States. Then we have see off. In Arabic, we say yuwaddi', see off someone, see someone off. Go with someone to the place from which he or she is going to leave, for example, the airport. And then we have clean up. Your mom tells you to clean up your room. That means to make clean and orderly, as in clean the house after a party or after some children had a lot of toys out. Then we have the word help out. Honestly speaking, the word out is just extra, I would say. Sometimes you say, your mom says, come and help me out, you know? They're like almost the same, but this one just gives you more, you know, action. You know, it shows more excitement, and, you know, that's what it does, I think. Help someone to do something. So, UN, what is the best phrasal verb here? Stands for United Nations, right? So this is a verb, it's a phrasal verb. Tom had a big party. Afterwards, he had to what? Clean up. Verb, the suitable verb here is clean up the house. Whenever you have a party, this is what you have to do. This is the price that you have to pay. All right. 3 of his friends stayed to do what? To help out. They're good friends, aren't they, guys? Your friends who stay, you know, after the party for some time in order to help out are great friends, I would say. 3, Ali studied at New York University for 5 years. When he left, 20 people went to the airport to see him off, right? See? All right? Let's go to the party together. I'll pick you up at 9. So these are, you know, like they should be easy sentences. They're not hard. They should be like really easy, right? I just want to see if there is something else to show you. So we finished, guys. Honestly speaking, we are done with this unit, okay? And basically what we're going to do next time is discuss the new unit. Okay, I thought we had it here. But the new unit, guys, has the title what? Skyscrapers. I thought it was somewhere here. It's okay. Next time I'll have it, you know, handy. All right. And be ready for the new unit. I think I'm going to do a recording for you. Okay. So please, guys, watch the recordings. Do not be lazy. Okay. Let me stop sharing and let me stop recording right now. And if you have any question, I would like to listen to your questions, all right? Yeah. Let me see if I could stop this. Stop.